Rachel, we are here.
We are, and I've been so excited for this. I really have. And you know my first reaction? Wow.
I know.
Amazing.
Incredible setting.
Yeah.
But your second one?
Second one, hot.
It's got to be.
It's really melting, isn't it?
But interesting, isn't it? You look at the planting and everything still looks incredibly fresh.
Yeah, you're right. Fresh as a daisy.
Welcome to Gardener's World. Yes, it's a brand new event at RHS Badminton Flower Show.
Hello.
Okay?
Hi. Nice to see you both. Yeah, I just had a look around the floor marquee and it's absolutely buzzing out there. So exciting. I love the atmosphere.
Yeah, do you know what? You're right. There's a certain sort of feeling.
It's an energy, isn't it? There's a real buzz, I think. Well, before we head off and explore, here's a look at what the show has to offer. Set in the heart of Gloucestershire and surrounded by the limestone Cotswold Hills, this area is famous for its fertile soil and honey-coloured stone. In the peak summer sunshine, the showground looks magnificent.
This show feels really fresh. It's got some really cool vibes, and I'm really excited that it's come to Badminton.
A unique feature is the Young Garden Designer of the Year, showcasing some of the brightest young talent.
We've been planning this for almost a year, so I'm really excited to see it come to life now.
The weather is hot and the flowers are on fire.
And as we hit sizzling temperatures, specialist growers are here to offer their expert advice.
Drought-tolerant perennials and grasses have spent millennia evolving to cope with these conditions, and it just goes to show if you're putting the right plant in the right place, you'll get the right results.
A radio drama loved by millions is reimagined into a show garden in celebration of the Archers' 75th anniversary.
I'm the self-proclaimed world's biggest Archers fan, so I'm here to see what Ambridge is like in real life.
The show is also attracting local celebrities, like designer Kath Gidson-Padgham, who is tapping into the botanical heritage of the estate.
Badminton has this extraordinary history of zonal pelargoniums. They first came here as far back as the 17th century. So for me, I'm so excited to be here and celebrate.
The landscape is so beautiful that the gardens feel like they truly belong here.
This new Cotswold floral celebration has all the makings of a fabulous show. Right, where do you want to go first?
It's got to be the show gardens, hasn't it?
Come on.
Yeah.
Those pools, I think that's a really clever little detail. They encroach the path, so you slow and then they're slightly reflected. Also, the core 10 used in all the different heights seems to sort of make it quite dynamic.
Yeah, I think so. I think
And
that
then-
feels strong, doesn't it?
Yeah, and then you've got this under your feet, which it feels nice and actually
Yeah.
should be uncomfortable to look at on a day like this, but it's not. And what I love is see all the shadows. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it works really well. And it sets off this planting, and the first thing that strikes me about it is that it's all about the vertical axis.
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
takes your eye skyward.
And actually, as soon as a little breeze comes through,
Yeah.
they all start just dancing.
Yeah, that lovely bit of movement with the transparency, which is always so attractive.
Yeah.
And you've got the underplanting just anchoring at things like those box balls, but it has an airiness, which
It
I was
does.
responding to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is lovely. Yeah, and the wildlife are loving it, look.
This one has a very different feel and a lovely, easy elegance. I like the way that these columns pick up on the bark of the trees, so they're very tactile and textured. It's a delicate planting palette using mainly greens, so feels very verdant and creates a gentle sense of calm. And it really sets off the stars of the astrantia and the pale blue of the campanula flowers. As these trees mature, they're going to provide a lovely dappled shade. This garden has personality and atmosphere without ever trying too hard, making it a perfect space for healing.
Can I just spend the rest of the day? Yeah.
It's lovely, isn't it? The sound of the water.
Yeah, and you don't have to have a huge water feature, do you, just to get that sound? And also, on days like today, when the weather's like it is, the water cools the air. You know, so that's why we're drawn to water.
Exactly.
And I love this as well. You know, when you've got like a stepping stone or something that really makes you engage.
Yes,
That's
that's
nice.
true. So it's sort of, it's a bit of a
feel like-
journey, isn't
yeah,
it,
it is,
around
isn't it?
this garden?
Yeah.
And I like the sense of the place as well. So it's all about Oregon.
Yeah, it is.
And the diversity of landscapes that you get. And very simple in terms of planting.
Yeah.
Lots of this lavender, and it's all wild and woolly, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
it
it's
is.
sort of not in a little
Yeah.
lavender hedge, which I love.
Yeah.
And all these lovely flat top achilles as well, perfect for the pollinators.
Now, so much of when we're talking about, you know, planting design, a lot of it, you know, we get drawn to the flowers, but actually just looking at them as shapes and forms
Yes,
and how they work with each other.
yes, and then the colour almost comes after that,
Yeah, it's like
doesn't
a
it?
bonus, isn't it?
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah. Well, that's Oregon done.
Yep.
Loads more to see.
Okay, where should
Come
we go
on.
next?
Come on.
When you come into the floral marquee, you meet the real experts and they have the most mind-boggling information. So I cannot wait to get exploring and get some tips. I must have been a bee in a former life because I've been drawn to this lavender stand. And there are two types of lavender. We've got English and French. The English, it's super hardy as long as you have it in well-drained soil, so it can handle frosts and exposed gardens. But it does need a lot of sun, and it will repeat flower if you deadhead it. The French lavender is a little more tender, so you want to grow it in a protected sunny area. And if you have clay soil, you can still grow these lavenders, but you need to grow them in pots. Lavenders are super easy to propagate, so you can get free plants from your own garden. This time of year, you can take semi-ripe cuttings. This means it is slightly woody at the base, but still soft at the top. You just strip off all these lower leaves, pinch out the tip to stop it losing too much water, and there you have it. By spring, it will have roots, it will be growing, and before you know it, you'll have a whole field of lavenders yourself. Carol, you love monadas. You've got the Plant Heritage National Collection, haven't you?
I have, and I absolutely adore my collection.
They flower all season, don't they? They're
They
quite
do.
easy to look after. They get bees on and butterflies, nectar rich.
Very nectar rich, and as you rightly said, they flower from July through to the first frost. They're the royalty of the herbaceous border, the late flowerers.
So the cut flower that I grow is Monada Loddon Crown, and that seems quite easy to grow. It's in a hot walled garden, really good drainage. But are there any new exciting varieties that you've got on your stand?
I've been given one today. It's from Ireland, and it's called Danish Dark.
Ooh.
And it's absolutely stunning. I think we can expect it to be in this country next year.
Okay.
It is the most marvellous Monada.
Oh, it's exciting. I think I might have to add that to the cut garden collection.
Oh, please do. The dark bracts alone are worth having.
Gorgeous, gorgeous. Oh my goodness, this is a riot of colour. And there's a few new plants in here I'm interested in. There's Tolbagia Giant Beauty. Now, normally you would grow Tolbagia near the edge of a border, but this one, because it's so tall, you could have it at the back, mixed in with grasses. I think that would look fantastic. And it likes lots of sun, lots of drainage. It would be perfect for a gravel garden. And then we've got Watsonia. Now, I don't know this plant very well, but I was drawn in by the flower, which reminds me a bit of an orchid. It's a hardy plant, and again, it likes full sun, lots of drainage, and it would be perfect mixed into the back of the border. It's so exciting to find new cultivars, and that's what these flower shows are all about.
This garden really speaks to me because it's all about the Cotswolds, and I live in the Cotswolds. And there are some classic features like the dry stone walling around the edge, which is such a beautiful backdrop to planting. Also the stone on the paving. And of course, it does mean that you get a lot of stone in the soil. It's pretty free draining, and it's also on the alkaline side of neutral. And it means if you want to grow anything acidic, well, you're better off growing them in a pot. But look at the planting here, it's so beautiful. I love those Nymphophia coming up there with the cosmos next to them. Wonderful with the roses going up over the arbour. Lovely planting as well, just edging the main bed. It's very beautiful. It's a little bit chocolate box, but in the best way, and I love it. The Cotswolds is a place of many different atmospheres, and this garden celebrates the Stroud Valley, and that particular area is very well known for coppicing. And so here you've got all of the structures, things like that wonderfully sort of wild archway and the dead hedge along one side of the garden, which is all about the coppiced hazel, so it really sets the scene perfectly. And then it's a garden of two halves. So here, much more sort of edge of woodland, but very much in a garden style. So you've got things like the Actaea there. The Actaea's got this wonderful dark stems and foliage. It's called Chocoholic. And then here at the front, this is all very loose, much more sun-loving. We've got things like ragged robin, there's the betony, there's lovely little wild strawberries and all of that wild carrot. So it's really soft and beautiful and has lots of movement. Now, of course, all of the growers who come to the show are aiming for perfect growing conditions. So for grower Annie Godfrey from Hertfordshire, who grows resilient and drought-tolerant plants, how did she get on in the run-up to the show in 38-degree heat when the pressure was on to get those plants up to the mark?
It has been really hot, really humid, really uncomfortable to be out in. We've experienced the hottest days on record for June. In terms of work on the nursery, that means that we can't really get on with much except watering. There are so many jobs I could be getting on with and want to be getting on with, but I just can't because of the heat. My name is Annie Godfrey, and I'm sitting here at Daisy Roots, my nursery, where we specialise in perennials and ornamental grasses. So in terms of facilities, we have this, the nursery. We have a polytunnel that's not very big, it's only 50 by 18 feet, and we have water. There's no electricity, we can't even make a cup of tea, so there's no way of keeping things cooler. We just have to work with the elements here. The style is soft and natural. When I'm putting plants together in a display, I like plants that have strong contrast to the plants that are next to them. It's combinations that excite me. I'm naturally drawn to plants with quite a strong structure to them. So this fabulous item is Stipa itu, the Peruvian feathergrass. I just love this grass for the way it moves. It just dances, and if you get a breeze, it almost kind of does a hula dance for you. If you get the sun coming through them, they fluoresce. So if you get low sun in the morning or in the evening, the flowers just fluoresce and add a bit of zing to the planting. So this plant, because it has evolved to cope with dry, poor conditions in Peru, works really well because that doesn't faze it at all. It's very happy in these very, very hot, dry conditions. Anyone who's got good drainage and a poorish soil will get on really well with steeper issue. So this is Sanguisorba. Sanguisorba are quite a large family, and there are lots of different varieties. They associate very well with grasses. I once saw a nurseryman's catalogue. It described one as looking like a swarm of raspberries. This is a variety called Fire Explosion. Although this Sanguisorba is quite tall, it is quite see-through. It's quite light and airy and has a diaphanous quality to it. So you can use it nearer the front of your border and give a depth to your planting and just create a more natural look with it. Fire Explosion here is looking just as I would want it to look for badminton. We've got a few flowers opening and still lots of bud to come, which means in a week's time, when I'm thinking about actually putting plants in the display, this should be just looking perfect. Fingers crossed. Creating combinations is like painting a picture, really. It's the difference between flicking paint at a canvas and actually placing plants so that they look good next to each other. So this is Agastache Belicious Purple. It copes with drought once it's established, and it flowers right through until late summer, early autumn. So this is a really useful upright vertical when I'm combining it in the display. It makes a nice contrast to the flat-headed Achilleas and the light diaphanous Sanguisorbas, and it's just another nice useful shape and colour to use in the border. In the last couple of years, we've had some extreme heat episodes. Well, we're expecting 36 degrees today. I think what's happening is every year goes by, I'm thinking, I hope this isn't a hot one, but actually I need to throw that out the window because it's going to be a hot one. We've all got to learn to cope with this heat and plant accordingly. So bizarrely, when drought-tolerant plants are in pots, they are some of the first plants to dry out. Some drought-tolerant plants have evolved to have a huge fibrous root system that gets right down into the far reaches of the ground to gather every bit of moisture for them. But when they're in pots, that fibrous root system is constricted and it can't be as big as they would like it to be in the ground, and they just can't take up the same amount of moisture. So they can only cope if we're on top of the watering. During a heat wave like this, a typical day starts early in the morning with watering the whole nursery. Then there's not really much else we can do during the day, so I'll come back late afternoon, early evening and go through the whole process again. And by doing that twice a day, we're just keeping everything in tip-top condition and making sure nothing gets missed the first time. These conditions are definitely putting the plants to the test. We still water by hand because then we get the chance to look at every individual plant as we're going round, make sure it's getting exactly what it requires. So we're not letting any individuals get missed by a watering system. And it also gives us the opportunity to just check that plant's individual needs. So in a heat wave like this, watering plants in pots is critical, but we don't water everything here at the nursery. I'm standing in the middle of our dry border, and the whole of this area has been planted with drought-tolerant perennials and grasses. It's a light sandy soil, and this bed is only ever watered when we put brand new plants in. So I don't think we've done any new planting in this border this year, and it hasn't been watered at all. And as you can see, everything is thriving. We've got a number of euphorbias, salvias, nepetas. We've got Stipa tenuissima, the ponytail grass there. This is already our second heat wave of the year, and these plants are still looking great. So I think the proof is in the pudding. They're doing what they should do in the right conditions. In some ways, I've been quite surprised by how resilient the plants have been in this heat wave, but thinking twice about it, these plants have spent millennia evolving to cope with these conditions, and it just goes to show if you're putting the right plant in the right place, you'll get the right results. We are 8 days away from the show now. I hope next week will be a bit cooler for both me and the plants, but despite the weather, I think we're going to be right on course for a good show at Badminton.
My favourite colour is orange, so that speaks to me. That.
Yeah, I like a bit of orange.
But Annie, you made it.
We did.
How do you feel? You relieved?
Hugely relieved, yes. Thank you.
Well, it's looking incredible. I love the Oenothera with the allium. Lovely pastel colours, but also the shapes.
Yeah.
Really good. What's your favourite combo?
I think my favourite is the steeper Itchu over there with the echinacea coming through it.
That's beautiful. I love that. It's a really special garden. It's obviously something we're going to see a lot more of now with the change in climate.
Yes, whether we like it or not, the climate is changing and we need to plant plants that can cope with that, yeah.
Yeah, but what about our winters? Because they're still wet.
Yeah, so these plants can cope with the dry summers, but they can't cope with poor drainage in the winter. So if you're on a heavier soil, you need to improve it.
Yeah, and people can do that, can't they? If you're recycling materials in your garden, you might have a patio maybe that you've dug up for some reason. You've got aggregates left over you can crush. You could use wash builder sand.
Yeah,
works
absolutely.
really well.
Yeah.
So there is ways around it, but with drought-tolerant plants, it's not just kind of put it in the ground, chuck it in there, leave it.
No, these plants are going to need lots of watering to get them established, and then this time next year they're going to be looking after themselves. I think a good watering once every 5 days or so, if it's like this, a really good soaking rather than little and often, and then the roots go down rather than sit near the surface.
Yeah, encouraging that deep rooting.
Yeah.
Well, it looks fantastic. I think this is an amazing example of how beautiful drought-tolerant planting can be. So thank you for sharing it with me.
Not at all. Thank you very much.
There is one headline garden at this show that I am rather excited about seeing. It's been designed by Joe Thompson, a friend of mine. Would you believe me if I told you I listened to the omnibus of the Archers? Yes, I've been following it for absolutely years. And yes, there is a show garden here to celebrate the 75 years that it's been on air.
I am a super fan. So when they did call, well, it took me about a nanosecond to say yes for a start.
From that call, how did you then create this?
And it's Pat and Tony's garden, so they own Bridge Farm.
Bridge Farm, yeah. So actually, they're really early organic farmers.
Absolutely, they're always at the forefront of new ideas in farming. They're trying those ideas out. And this is their front garden, which was destroyed a while back in a sewage spill. Yeah. And so they have been rebuilding and replanting the garden. So everything that's been done has been done with the question, would Pat or Tony do this?
Yeah.
So really kind of getting under their skin.
And on that note, in front of that hedgerow, there's a beautiful quince tree.
Yes, which was a present. And that's in the storyline. I've been liaising with the producers to make sure that all the storylines work with this garden. So the quince tree was a present, and the rose is in the story as well, the Tottering by Gently rose. I don't want to give any spoilers, but Tony was actually planting that.
Wow.
It was all strictly confidential. I mean, imagine trying to keep a secret. Friends who've come out of the woodwork as Archers fans, people who I've known for 30 years who I didn't know were Archers fans, so trying not to tell them was really hard.
I mean, seriously, it's like a bowl of joy, isn't it?
I've had real fun with the colour in this garden. It's inspired by, you know, all those lovely front gardens that you walk past and they're just full of the most abundant colour, really sort of uplifting, that makes you smile as you go past. And I thought, I want to get a sense of that in this garden. And then it drifts out into the little areas where we've got different elements that hopefully, whether you're an Archers listener or not, you'll find something that you like. And there are lots of little Easter eggs dotted around, little kind of clues that hopefully, I'm really looking forward to watching people's reactions to see if they notice the little model cars and that kind of thing.
Mate, honestly, I think people are going to turn up and they're going to absolutely love it.
Oh, thank you. I've really enjoyed it. It's been the best thing ever.
Good. One of the wonderful things about coming to shows like this is the amount of expert knowledge that we get to tap into. And over the years, so many of those faces become familiar to us. So I think it's wonderful when every now and then a new young grower appears. Well, a few days ago, we caught up with Zav Edge, who only set his nursery up 6 months ago.
Morning, girls. Hi all, I'm Zav and I'm 24, and this year I'm exhibiting for the first time at RHS Badminton. We live here just outside of Leek with these wonderful views, and I live here with my parents. Say hello, Mum.
Hi.
And also with my dad. Say hello, Dad.
Hello. Well, we get on pretty well. There's often various opinions about things.
And who's tidier?
Well, I know who's tidier. It's definitely not Zav who's tidier.
So this was just a field, and we've put lots of hardcore down to form the base of this polytunnel. And this has allowed us to grow loads more plants this year. This being my first RHS show is quite daunting, but it's also really exciting. So having enough plants is a bit of a dilemma. I am growing more than I probably need to. I've done about 180 show plants for the display. So these are some heleniums I'm hoping to take for the show. This is Echinacea Powwow White. At the moment, we're currently experiencing a bit of heat wave, so we've got them nestled in the shade, and hopefully that'll give them a little bit of a delay in flowering. So these agapanthus are fantastic. I love the colour of these, and these are actually my favourite plants. This is the sanguisaur, but it's got lovely foliage. It's a little bit different. It is quite unusual for someone my age to be doing the shows. Everyone's normally a little bit older than myself. At shows I get asked quite often, do you know anything about these plants? Or because they think it's not me who's doing it. But once they find out, lots of people want to encourage me to do well, and that's amazing, really. See you at the show. Wish me luck.
Zab, how did this all start?
Well, it all started from home. We were filling our borders at home. We grew one too many, so I had to start to sell them. And then, yeah, we sort of got to this point.
I'm just going to do something, all right? And your first ever show,
yeah,
and you get one of these.
I know, I can't believe it.
Some people would say that's showing off, honestly. Oh, wow, that's an incredible story.
Yeah, well, thanks very much, yeah.
What is it then that sucked you in?
A big thing for me is seeing, like, people when they take them away or plant them in the garden. That's great to see other people enjoying my plants in their garden. Yeah. That's the highlight.
You can see it, though, in your face.
Yeah,
so the stand,
yeah.
You know, did you have an idea as to what you were trying to achieve?
Yeah, I had a rough idea of what I was going for, with various grasses to provide the height and the flowers to offset the different colours, but there's no real detailed plan.
So basically, you've just come, arranged
them and packed them in and what have you,
I'm going to really embarrass you now. Dad, can you come in?
Cheers. Hi.
I'm going to ask you a question first.
OK.
Before all of this started, were you into gardening?
Yeah, I mean, we grew a few plants at home, just a fairly standard, you know, garden, and standard sort of size of garden. But I blame you guys, to be honest with you.
So it's our fault?
Yeah, it is, it is.
Oh, right.
If we go back to when he was about 7, getting home, Friday evening, have some dinner, lie on the sofa, watch GardenersWorld, and I never anticipated that we'd be at this stage.
Honestly, you must be so proud of him.
Just amazingly proud. It was one of those moments where you kind of go, wow, so proud of what he's done.
Honestly, I think it's a fantastic story, and for me, a young person coming into the industry that I love,
Yeah.
but also you're going to have a weekend
Yeah.
of people rocking up and hopefully buying a few plants.
Yeah, that's our idea.
Honestly, mate, well done. Brilliant.
Cheers. Thank you.
Badminton is obviously a glorious backdrop for a flower show, but it's much more than just a pretty facade because there are real gardening credentials that go back here nearly 400 years. Back in the 17th century, the first Duchess of Beaufort, Mary Somerset, was a true botanical pioneer. She was collecting, growing, researching and cataloguing hundreds of plants. Until recently, Mary was thought of as a lady hobby gardener. Well, now she is being recognised as being a really important botanist in British gardening history. These days, that legacy goes on. Many of the plants she introduced and studied right here at Badminton are still grown here, and indeed all over the world. Most famously, Millfield Gem, a fabulously flowery hybrid ivy pelargonium. And this show continues very much in that vein because it's the only RHS flower show that has a category for young designers, and it gives them a perfect opportunity to flex their imaginations and their muscles.
So, young designers category.
Gorgeous.
We've got 3 gardens. Everybody needs to be under 30.
Yes.
Fantastic way to cut your teeth if you're new into garden design.
Definitely. It's a lot of pressure, though. A brand new RHS show.
Yeah.
And you're designing a garden, the public are going to see it, and you're being judged.
But actually, design-wise, it's a little cracker, isn't it? Because it's quite simple in its layout. I love the sort of repeat of the squares and the sort of rectangles.
Love that. And the purple that's working its way through, I love that thread.
Actually, as well, I love the way that the apples, the malus, have been used through.
Yeah.
It's quite brave because it encloses the space.
And with a multi-stem tree, you're getting more bang for your buck. And you've got that mixture of the edibles with the ornamentals.
Yeah. I think for me, it's the way I garden at home, and I would say the 2 things that I don't use as much water.
Yes.
And don't have so many problems with pests and diseases.
Having monocrops is where you get the problems, isn't it? You've got rows, something comes and attacks it, it goes to the next. In here, you've got that mixture. So the pests, they're not going to see it.
Yeah.
And also you're going to have lots of other beneficial insects coming in with all the other flowers, pollinators, hoverflies, ladybirds, all of it. Adam, another exciting young designer here. She's created this beautiful winding pathway, bright colours.
Actually, straight away, it feels very different, doesn't it?
Yeah. But I'm drawn into this area.
You and me both.
Can we have a seat?
On, yeah.
This is gorgeous.
It is.
Really beautiful. So many shades of green. And that's something that is a bit underrated, I think. Our human eye picks up so many different colours of green.
And straight away, you can appreciate all the different shapes and forms and finishes of the leaves.
Yeah.
But I think sinking down into a space in a garden is a really simple thing to do, but actually a lot of people don't do it. And you feel different, your eye line changes.
Yeah, you feel completely immersed and hugged by this area. And I love that you can see now all of that texture and colour.
It's a cracking little space.
It really is, but I'll catch you later.
See you later.
I'll see you in a bit.
Cheers. It always fascinates me as to where designers get their inspiration from. And on that note, our final young designer, Sophie Leo, lives just down the road and has very much used this local landscape to inspire her garden.
This is my special place. I think everyone has a special place in nature, and this is mine. Sounds of insects, there's the birds, an open sky. just the sound of the British countryside, isn't it? I'm Sophie, I'm a garden designer from Bristol. This year I'm designing a show garden inspired by this landscape. This is the place that I come when I need somewhere to help me work through emotions. I started gardening with my mum. Being able to go to the garden centre, buy a plant, put it in the garden and watch it grow was really special. My mum actually encouraged me to do an RHS horticultural course, so I decided to do a garden design course, and it was the best thing I've ever done. It was like all of the things I was good at school had come together into one. The garden at Badminton, it's called Where Grief Grows Quiet. It's about the feeling that you get when you walk into this big expanse and your emotions almost feel like they go quiet. You feel smaller and your problems and emotions feel smaller. This crumbling wall is actually the initial inspiration for the design, and it spoke to me because this wall is offering protection to these self-seeded trees that are inside of it. This is the Acer campestre tree, and it's one of the main trees in the garden. This is a staple of our British hedgerows. This one looks like it's just self-seeded here. It's got a really beautiful shape, and the stem as well looks really gnarly and old. But this is a really lovely example of the pink seed heads that appear this time of year. So hopefully the one we have in our garden has these on as well. This is a lot like what we're doing in the design. The grass around the outside, we'll recreate that with a native grass and then intersperse that with wildflowers where you have to look a bit harder to find the beauty in them. And that's to signify the part of grief where you're outside of this safe space. Inside of the wall, you're in this place with airy planting that feels safe and that encourages you to be open. I think it's a lot like the journey of grief. It's not perfect and it's not linear either. It can be up and down, but there's beauty in that. Just like there's beauty in an imperfect wall, I want people to know that it's okay not to be okay, and it's okay to be up and down. Seeing beauty in imperfection is a really important part of what we're trying to do in the garden. My mum got diagnosed with cancer. When we found out that my mum had 6 months left to live, one of the things that she said immediately was that she needed to go to somewhere with big skies and open landscape to just breathe for a second. So on the way back from the hospital, we stopped and breathed together for a while, and it helped to just digest that news and get ready to be able to share with the rest of the family. A few months before my mum died, she called me into her bedroom and she showed me this notebook that had a sketch of a show garden in. She was really keen for me to do a show garden, so I'm so glad that now, 4 years later, I'm finally bringing her sketch to life. This is a sketch that my mum did in her last few months. And the sketch is really special. It has loads of notes on it about what she wanted the garden to be like. So mum's very rough design was these different points to stop off at of all different feelings that you would experience when living with cancer. She's put another note here that this is clear water, reflects sky / hope / working out. There's one particular part of the notebook where she detailed exactly what she wanted for her final moments. I do wish to eat cake and chocolate and drink wine and tea for as long as possible, and toast and Marmite. Those are all of her favourite things. My mum was a primary school head teacher, and like most people, think my mum was the best. She was always about helping other people. That was like her whole ethos in life. And she was one of those people that always picked herself up and got on with things. The garden at Badminton is a place where people can go to remind them that life still goes on after grief. You'll notice flowers popping up and birds coming in, and there's water and movement. And so in the garden there is life, and that will hopefully help people feel like life will carry on. Whether we like it or not sometimes, it will keep going. I want people to feel like they can be sad and it not to be a taboo or something they need to hide away from. My mum always said that we should be using the hard things we've gone through to help other people, and so that's what I want to do with this show garden. It's healing for me to be able to do it and to talk about my mum and bring in her ethos of helping other people. I think she'd be really proud, and she'd definitely be very excited to see the finished garden.
Sophie, a gold medal, and I want to state the obvious, your mum, I think, would be so, so proud of what you've achieved.
I think she'd be very happy with the gold medal.
Looking at it as a garden, though, and as a designer, material selection, beautiful, the planting sits comfortably, but I love the details.
Yeah.
Like the Acer campestre coming up through the wall.
Yeah.
You know, every little detail that you saw and photographed in the field, you seem to have managed to work that in a really comfortable way.
Yeah, because I've spent a lot of time there and spent a lot of time there in my grief and not in grief as well, in a happier moment. So it all came together really naturally, which I think is what makes it so successful, because none of it's forced. Yeah. It's all real. And yeah, like the planting, for example, does exactly what I hoped it would do and reflects that meadow type feel of that light airiness that you can walk through.
You know, young designer, gold medalist, you know, what's next?
I hope to be able to create maybe another show garden once I've had a bit of a sleep.
Creating a garden is one thing, but to finish with a space like this that carries real atmosphere is a completely different thing. And I walked in here and it's a goosebumps, you know, and I know you've put your heart and your soul into this.
People say you can have tough moments and you definitely get very tired, but actually me and the team I've had have had the best time. And we did all the planting together, and you can tell because I still have
That's impressive.
soil under my nails. I've touched every plant. I've been inside each border. But yeah, I can't wait to go get my nails redone.
Bless you, that's a good sign. Be proud.
Now this is intriguing. Look at these bottles. I think what they're doing here is they've taken cuttings, but from perennials, and they've just dropped them into water, because I can see the roots forming there. I'm just going, excuse me. Hi. Can I pick your brains about this here? So it looks to me like you taking perennial cuttings and just dropping them into water. Is it that simple?
It really is, and this is just plain tap water. These Persicaria, they do really nicely in water. I like to think of the nodes on these Persicarias like the engine room where stuff happens, and you can really see those roots coming through from there. And this has happened within 1 week, 2 weeks, really. You can get roots like this, so yeah.
That's extraordinary, isn't it?
So this is Salvia Naomi tree, lovely kind of light pink flower with a dark calyx, and this has been in maybe just a couple of weeks. Lovely roots forming there, and this is already at the point where I would be potting this on in a nice kind of gritty compost, just looking after it in a pot a little while, and then getting it ready to plant out. But yeah, just normal tap water, and it's just really magical watching these roots form, and it's something anyone can do on their kitchen windowsill or something like that.
So somewhere reasonably bright, but not in direct sun.
Yeah, that's right. You don't want to be in blaring sunshine, but bright indirect light, and yeah, just watch the magic happen, really.
So is there a perfect length for the roots before you pot them up?
I think when you've got about a centimetre or two of root, then pot it on. If you let them get really long and really tangled and matted, they just don't take so well when you put it into soil. So yeah, a centimetre or two, then pot it on, then just keep an eye on it for a little bit in the pot, and then should be good to go as a nice new garden plant.
Well, you've completely inspired me. I'm going to be doing that a lot at home. In fact, I might start when I get back tonight.
Brilliant, yeah.
Badminton are really putting on a show for their first RHS event.
And being Badminton, they have gone big. Wow. This is something special.
It's absolutely incredible.
Look at that for a view.
I know, 2,000 square metres, which equates to about 8 tennis courts. That makes it the largest show garden ever created at an RHS flower show.
Incredible, and it feels immersive when you're in it. I feel surrounded by plants.
And like it's been here forever.
And I love the way they put plants in cracks, as if they've actually grown through the paving over time. It gives that feeling that it has been here. And those Eryngium, agavifolium, so structural.
They're wonderful with the little alliums just popping up. Look at the butterflies.
Yeah, yeah, loads of wildlife. I could just sit here all day, listen to the water.
Yeah, no chance. No chance, my friend. So we are now off to from the biggest to the smallest.
Okay, I'm excited for that.
Site.
We better get cracking.
So, other end of the scale, these are called pocket planted.
Okay.
And I think at first glance, you can see don't need a lot of space to come up with creative ideas.
Definitely, there's so much inspiration you could apply to the average size garden here.
Yeah, I keep looking down. I keep looking down
there.
there.
I see you're distracted.
I think I might just stay and enjoy this.
Don't go paddling. I know it's hot. I'm going to go check. Something's caught my eye over there,
Right,
so we'll see you in a bit. This garden is all about composting and community. People have given their green waste to a community composting scheme, and in return, they get this lovely black gold. And this is perfect for the soil because it helps to retain the moisture. And the plants in this garden reflect that. You've got Filipendula, you've got Digitalis, and this gorgeous Thalictrum, which has these white frothy flowers. And they love a moisture-retaining soil. So if you start with good compost, you will get great plants. And it just shows that dead material can produce life, and that's what I love about this space.
The one element that will take any garden to another level has to be water. Look at that. I reckon that's a metre. And it is teeming with life. You see the damselflies in there. Other wildlife just coming in and out. You know, that is life. It's so easy to do. It's probably just about 60 centimetres deep. It's got boulders all the way around the edge, creating these sort of wonderful different habitats. There's planting that's covering the surface. There's then marginal planting, bits that are adding oxygen. So really not complicated. But you could spend hours just sat here watching that. Wonderful.
This garden is all about butterflies, and just sitting here, I've been amazed at how many pollinators have been visiting. Plants like yarrow are great because they have that flat landing pad, and salvias, if you keep deadheading them, they will flower all summer. I haven't got a big garden, I've got a balcony, and I grow everything in containers. I planted it just this spring, and it's been amazing to see how many insects have come to visit, and it's such a joy to watch. When your garden is buzzing with life, it makes you want to get out there and just be in it. So I encourage you to plant as many nectar-rich plants as you can. Now, last week, we visited a grower who harnesses the power of pelargoniums. Cathkidston Pagum may be a name you recognize from floral textile design, but now she's using her creativity to harness the fragrance from her favorite plants.
There's something extraordinary about the fragrance of pelargoniums. All of them have this uplifting feeling to them. There is something very emotive about them. Definitely a creative trigger. I'm Cathkidston, I'm in my garden in Gloucestershire, surrounded by my pelargoniums, preparing to get them all ready to take them over to RHS Badminton. The only thing I've ever really known how to grow, I've not got very good green fingers, is geraniums, or really the kind of pelargonium varieties that need to live in the greenhouse. Gradually, I began to collect the ones that have all different fragrances. Rose, mint, lemon, mint chocolate, cinnamon, Old Spice, kids' favourite cola. It's hard to describe, but the uplifting, calming feeling of being around all these plants, learning about the new fragrances, learning how to look after them, I got very absorbed into that kind of world. This is one of my favourites. It's called Pelargonium radens. It's not really about the flowers, but the scent of this. It's a kind of combination of rose, lemon, mint. It's the most uplifting fragrance. This is the first one that I started working with. It's that, for anyone who knows a classic geranium fragrance, that is really it. Centre-leaf pelargoniums, they really take me back to my childhood. And from that, there's a series of memories, like obviously the garden at home, being out as a small child. But then I had a grandmother who was a tremendous gardener, and she would give me the job of watering her geraniums. Quite an onerous task, actually. And I think when I began to collect my own, I actually had picked up more knowledge subconsciously than I was aware of. It's Pelargonium Maple Grey, and it has these most extraordinary, strong sherbet lemon leaves. It does have quite big flowers, this one, big bright flowers, but amazing, unusual leaves. Quite temperamental, that's the only thing with it. If it's given too much water, the leaves will go yellow pretty quickly. When I start watering them and feeding them in the spring, I tend to put a little water in the saucer rather than watering from the top, and they gradually, you can see how much water they want to take up. They originate from South Africa. What they love is getting quite dry, having a big drink again, and start all over. They don't like little drinks every day. One of the things about pelargoniums is they're not hardy. They don't like being left out in the winter. I mean, they can survive in a warm, sheltered spot, but if they get too much rain, too much frost, it rots their roots, and that's the end of it. And so obviously bringing them in is important. If you have a windowsill, they'll thrive very well on the windowsill, but it's good to cut them back, not give them very much water, keep them pretty dry in the winter, and then come the spring, you'll begin to see signs of life. One of the challenges when it comes to the winter is a lot of my pelargoniums would have grown quite leggy and large, and they won't fit back into the greenhouse. So I either have to cut them right back to make room, or some of them I take cuttings September time and build a new collection to start over the winter. I find some nice fresh growth on the plant. So there's a nice shoot here with no flowers on it. Snip it back down here, take off most of the leaves, right to the very tip actually. So I've made a mix which is part peat-free potting compost, and added to that a little bit of perlite and sharp sand, which makes the soil mix lighter, which I think the plants prefer. So there's a nice loose mix. I'm going to dip these in water from the watering can here because I think they're better. Just pop them in. They prefer being down the side of the pot. That one can go here. Don't press it down too much. And then this will need a little water. I'll look at that in a day or two, but I'll keep it just slightly moist and not too much. Hopefully, in, say, 3 weeks' time, we'll see those beginning to grow. So then a really nice thing to do, here's some lemonade that I've had. So adding a handful of leaves, the radens, is brilliant for this. If you can do it about half an hour before you drink it, it really permeates the flavour of the drink. Give it a good stir. you will have the most lovely scented pelargonium lemonade. So we're going to be displaying all sorts of different fragrance pelargoniums and encouraging the public to rub the leaves, to learn that the smell isn't in the flowers but the leaves, and see if they can recognise this amazing variety of fragrances. Badminton has this extraordinary history of zonal pelargoniums. They first came here as far back as the 17th century. So for me, with my love of pelargoniums, I'm so excited to be here and celebrate. It's going to be a real showstopper, this one.
I have to say, Kath, you are a woman after my own heart. I also have a passion for pelargoniums. I can sort of feel it emanating from you.
They're beautiful, aren't they?
Yeah.
They really are.
Really stunning.
Yeah, there's so many delicious smelling ones. Always the leaves, not the flowers.
And I love, actually, when the weather's like this, I bring them outside because I think people often think they have to stay protected in a glass house all year round, but this is the sort of weather that they really love. But tomentosum, you can put into some shade and be happy.
Yeah.
So.
It loves actually being out on a patio or somewhere in the shade. It will thrive. And some of them don't like too much sun. If they're in the greenhouse, they need a bit of shade this time of year with weather like this, but they absolutely thrive in the summertime.
Now, I know that you made that drink that you described.
Shall I give you some?
Ooh, thank you. This looks wonderful.
Isn't that delicious?
Mm. That's really good. You get that sense of the geranium, but it's very subtle. Well, cheers to pelargoniums.
Yes.
Ashley, what an incredible day.
We have managed to fit so much in. I'm proud of us. But there's so many ideas as well, from big spaces like this to those small pocket gardens. There's so much to take home.
Yeah, there is. Do you know, I love seeing new, young designers coming to shows. And for me, there was a little magical moment. I had a wonderful conversation with Sophie that had created a garden inspired by her mum, you know, and it really demonstrated that power that a garden holds.
They are transformative spaces. I love that.
Yeah, they
love
are,
that.
mate, yeah. Here we go. Hello.
I can tell from the
How
body
are we?
language that you two are inspired.
We're so immersed and into it.
Yeah, honestly.
No, it's
been
amazing,
incredible.
isn't it?
It's just been incredible.
I agree. Incredible. But unfortunately, all good things have to come to an end. And sadly, this is the end of our programme. But the Badminton Flower Show is on right through until Sunday, and I really urge you to come along. It's fantastic.
Monty will be back next week at Longmellow, but in the meantime, enjoy your gardens over the weekend. Be careful in the sun. But great, that is it from us. So, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. There's more to see, though.
Yes, there's more to see. Come on.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Don't waste time.